This is Melissa Dykes reporting for the Daily Sheeple. Well, it's that time again, America. Time to inaugurate another face for the shadow government that runs our country. But this time, we can all tell something's just a little different. The radical liberal left is completely freaking out.
We are not in favor of the peaceful transition to power,
And when I say freaking out, what I mean is...
So if you booked Donald Trump on your show, what would your first question be?
Are you going to send me or anybody that I know to a camp?
Here are 5 signs that some shenanigans might get pulled on or around January 20th, Inauguration Day. Number 1. At least 36 organized Trump Inauguration Day protests have been scheduled in 18 states across the U.S. on January 19, 20, and 21, with 21 more protests set up in locales around the globe. While we can all agree that protesting is everyone's naturally inherent right, enshrined in this country by our Bill of Rights, where it goes south here is the fact that color revolution starters like billionaire George Soros have been exposed, paying to bus in agent provocateurs to protests like these to take things well out of protest territory and into riots in the streets, with private property getting burned down and martial law being declared coup territory. Soros not only helped fund what turned into the Ferguson riots after the highly publicized Michael Brown shooting, but new Soros front groups have already been tied to anti-Trump protests which at times have turned violent during the election. What's more, we've already seen police stand down and seemingly allow Trump supporters to be beaten bloody in the streets right in front of them without doing anything about it. Which leads me to number 2. Warnings like this one here have been coming out of the alt media for weeks, with claims that the radical left are planning to turn Trump's inauguration into one of the biggest riots in American history. But on the other side of the aisle, the liberal establishment media are actually promoting the protests, which should otherwise seem odd for supposedly non-partisan media outlets. Referring to it as the anti-inauguration, Bilderberg Group attendee The New York Times published an op-ed that read more like a nationwide Christmas party invite. It said, quote, "The inauguration of Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States is just 2 weeks away, so now's the time to begin making plans to send him the strongest possible signal that your opposition to the presidency he has foreshadowed will not be pouting and passive, but active and animated. Now is the time to begin making your plans for the anti-inauguration." Can anyone recall this outlet promoting anti-Obama protests back in 2009 like this, or ever at all? Number 3. Copious numbers of tweeters are threatening Inauguration Day will be like The Purge, a fiction, thankfully so far anyway, film where the rule of law and emergency services are suspended for 12 hours so Americans can go on a guilt-free violence and murder spree one night a year. The 3rd installment of the hit movie franchise was called Election Year and actually included a play on Trump's election catchphrase in their advertising. Considering the current state of our country under the likes of 8 years of George W. Bush, see something, say something, torture and war, and 8 more years of Obama, economic collapse, more torture, more war, extrajudicial drone killings, and an orchestrated race war agenda, can you just imagine under the current political climate if this were to actually happen in real life, just by the way? Holy shit. And speaking of that, number 4, stars like Rosie O'Donnell are freaking out so hard, she's now even openly calling for martial law to stop Trump from being sworn in. She pinned this tweet to the top of her 1 million follower Twitter account saying, "I fully support imposing martial law, delaying the inauguration until Trump is cleared of all charges," whatever those charges supposedly are. Some people responded that they're up for anything, so martial law, that's great. But just think about what she's suggesting here, let it fully sink in. One soldier has, tweeting, "Not too smart, Rosie. You do know that soldiers are not peace officers. We don't yell freeze or stop resisting." Not only is this totally hypocritical coming from the progressives who are whining that Trump should accept the election results no matter what, but this is someone blatantly calling for the endangerment of people's lives and taking away of our basic rights because they're so butthurt that Trump won. But the creepiest has to be coming out of the establishment itself, which leads me to number 5. It starts with a coordinated fake news attacks claiming that Trump is going to dismantle the CIA, claims that mirror statements made by assassinated President JFK, who many people believe was assassinated for saying things like he wanted to, quote, "splinter the CIA in 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds." Well, now on top of that, you have Obama suddenly deciding to remove the head of the DC National Guard from duty effective 12:01 p.m. on Inauguration Day. Major General Errol Schwartz has not been given a reason why Obama suddenly is forcing him to step down on that day at that exact time during Trump's inauguration, but Schwartz has spent months planning security for said inauguration alongside DC Police, Secret Service, and other top DC officials. During the inauguration, Schwartz would not only command the members of the DC Guard, but also an additional 5,000 troops that was sent in across the country to help, and he was supposed to oversee military air support protecting the nation's capital during the inauguration. What a coincidence! Seems an awful lot like how the Secret Service was replaced and all the security security plans were changed the day JFK was shot in Dallas, doesn't it? Meanwhile, in the background, coinciding with Trump's swearing in, Obama has begun amassing troops on Russia's border, almost as if he just wants to start World War III at the last minute, right here at the very end. Either way, it certainly seems like something big is going down on or around January 20th, at least that's what we're being hyped for. And no matter what, it would seem like next Friday and the next 4 years are set to be some pretty interesting times in America.